morning everybody and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. And England's World Cup qualifying campaign got off the ground yesterday against San Marino, the Giants of San Marino. England beat San Marino 5-0 and I don't think anything less than that was expected. San Marino are the lowest ranked team in the world, according to any of the commentators. I think they took a little bit of delight in describing them as the worst team in the world, or the worst international side in the world. To put it into context a little bit, it was mentioned on the TV that they've only won one game in the last 31 years. One game in 31 years. They've never won. It was a friendly game, the game that they won. They've never won a competitive match in all the years that they've been playing in European Championship qualifiers. This is what they mean by competitive matches, so qualifiers. And don't forget, they're often in groups with other small nations when you think of small nations. So obviously Andorra are in our group as well. They're not expected to beat Andorra, so try to understand who San Marino are. I'm going to lay it on a bit thick, this. So the population of San Marino is 30,000. 30,000 is the population of San Marino. Their whole population wouldn't fill Old Trafford if they all went to a game. It wouldn't half fill. It wouldn't half fill Old Trafford if they all went to a game at Old Trafford. There's a few lads on Twitter complaining that Luke Shaw wasn't playing. Anybody who was complaining that Luke Shaw wasn't playing, I saw one or two saying, why is Shaw not playing? There's a complete lack of understanding. A complete lack of understanding. Last weekend we played Leicester. And Leicester, obviously a top team. And our manager rested Luke Shaw for that game with Tellez as a backup. The difference is chalk and cheese. First of all, our backup left back isn't particularly good. That's the first. He's decent. That's all he is. He's just a decent player. He's not particularly good, our backup left back. And we're playing against a top team in an FA Cup quarter final, and our manager rested Luke Shaw. That was a joke. Against San Marino, the backup left, we don't know who he's going to pick yet, do we? We don't really know that for sure. We'll find that out next week when they play Poland. But whether he was to play Luke Shaw or Ben Chilwell last night didn't even matter. Didn't even matter. He could have picked, let me just pick this name out from here. He could have picked Tommy Rowe at left back for England last night, and they still would have won. And that'll become apparent what I'm talking about in a minute, right? So it's not about who was the better player last night. It's a squad game. They've got 3 games in a week. This game was an absolute given. It's the only game not quite the only one, but it's definitely the game in international football that you're going to win. So the manager can pick whoever he wants to pick, anybody he wants to pick. So it was ridiculous to suggest that the manager was making a mistake. I saw somebody put on Twitter what a mistake Gareth Southgate's making by picking Luke Shaw. That's not the point. It was a mistake that Ollie made, not picking Luke Shaw. It wasn't a mistake that Gareth Southgate made. He's just literally juggling his team around. Luke Shaw might play on Sunday against Albania. What will be the real interesting one is next Wednesday against Poland. So next Wednesday against Poland, let's see who he picks. Think of it this way as well. Harry Kane didn't play. Harry Maguire didn't play. So to say that he's made a mistake leaving Luke Shaw out is a joke. I'm from talking about the population of San Marino, 30,000. I'm from the same Manchester suburb that Marcus Rashford is from, Wythenshawe I'm from. And the population of Wythenshawe is generally said to be between sort of 90,000 and 100,000. And this is just a suburb of Manchester. Just this suburb of Manchester has got 3 times the population that San Marino has got. Marcus Rashford's from Wythenshawe. Ravel Morrison is from Wythenshawe, who's 28 years old. He hasn't got a club at the minute, Ravel Morrison, but he's only 28 years old. Nathan Holland a player who is marked down on Wikipedia as a midfielder for West Ham United is from Wythenshawe. Bristol City's left back, this is where this name comes in. Bristol City's left back is a lad called Tommy Rowe. He's from Wythenshawe. Tommy Rowe could have played left back for England last night. It wouldn't have made an apex of difference. It would not have made any difference. Tommy Rowe's brother Danny plays as a winger for Burton Albion in League One. Shay Logan is from Wythenshawe. He plays as a right back for Aberdeen. And Charlie Raglan is a defender who plays for Cheltenham Town in League Two. Why am I saying all this? I'm trying to really make the point that if all these players that I'm reading out were eligible to play for San Marino, absolutely 100% nailed on, they would all be in the squad. And almost certainly, I don't know if in one of the positions they've got, they might have one or two particularly good players, San Marino compared to the others. I would imagine most of these players would get in, if not all of them, would actually be in the starting lineup. And then going into the non-league ranks, these people come up on Wikipedia, so these are not Sunday League players. Another professional player from Wythenshawe, Callum Mantak, plays for Staley Bridge, and two others that pop. He's described as a professional footballer, by the way. That's why I'm saying it. He's a non-league player, but he's described as a professional footballer. You know, quite a few of the San Marino players are not professional footballers. And then at the same level as that, a couple of other names that pops up: James Hooper for Witton Albion and Carlos Logan for Ashton United, all at the same level as Mantak for Staley Bridge. So there's 10 players I've named there. 7 professional footballers, a couple of them really well known, league footballers, and then 3 others who are probably getting paid as much money as some of the San Marino players are getting paid, playing for clubs who are just outside the league. And there'll be plenty of others playing at that level or a little bit lower. You could make a squad up. Here's my point. If you cobbled a team together and had time to work with them of players only from Wythenshawe, you would probably beat San Marino. You'd have a great chance of beating San Marino if you were only allowed to pick players from Wythenshawe, let alone England. So I hope that puts it into perspective, who England were up against last night, and to say that it was a mistake by the manager not to pick Luke Shaw is nothing short of a joke, and shows a complete lack of understanding of what's going on. To the game itself, what team did he go with? He had Pope in goal, he had James at right back, Cody and Stones as the centre backs. Chilwell played at left back, as I've just covered. Calvin Phillips of Leeds and Ward Prowse of Southampton were in midfield. Lingard, Mount and Sterling, sort of attacking midfield players, if you like. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin at number 9. Calvert-Lewin got one of the goals. Sterling got a goal. Ward Prowse. Calvert-Lewin got 2 of the goals. Sterling, Ward Prowse and Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins came off the bench. The players who got a game off the bench were Foden, Tyrone Mings, Jude Bellingham got a game off the bench, Kieran Trippier and Ollie Watkins. I was surprised to see that Patrick Bamford wasn't included in the squad. I've been very impressed with Patrick Bamford. And I've watched Villa a few times and I've watched Leeds a few times. And I'll be honest with you, I'm absolutely stunned that Gareth Southgate has taken Ollie Watkins in. It's a good player, Ollie Watkins. I'm not knocking him, decent player. But Bamford, to me, looks a bit special. He really does. A lot of people will say you don't talk about who's scoring the goals when it's... Look, it's handy if you can score goals, but I believe it's about how you play and who's the better player that's more important. It doesn't matter who does score the goals. It's handy if you can score goals as well, but it doesn't have to be at the top of the list of what's important. But Patrick Bamford, to me, he looks like he holds the ball well, he passes it well. Ollie Watkins works his socks off, which is... A lot of people say what a workhorse he is. And I sometimes think to myself that people say that when that's the best thing they can say about a player. I'm not knocking Ollie Watkins, I'm really not. But he is a workhorse. And Patrick Bamford, to me, looks a better player. He looks a better player and does his work as well anyway. So I don't get it. I really am. I'm sure lots of Leeds fans would be stunned that Bamford wasn't taken in the squad. And if those two players were to transfer next summer, I reckon Patrick Bamford would probably. I think he'd fetch twice the money that Ollie Watkins would command. So it's an interesting one why Gareth Southgate chose Ollie Watkins over Bamford. I prefer Anthony Martial to Cavani. I mean, Cavani's started off scoring a few goals, but he's not, they seem to have he's been injured a little bit, but a lot of people aim that sometimes at Martial. Sometimes he can be out injured and they say he's not been scoring. But I was about to do the same myself, but the goals did seem to dry up a little bit for Cavani. Then he's been injured. Now he's come back in. I know I think he's only been back in once and had a part game, I think. So I think the goals have dried up a little bit for Cavani, but whether they have or they haven't, Martial to me is a better player. We need Martial to be playing, in my opinion, because he holds the ball up well, passes it really well. He's just a top player and the team will play better, and I believe the team will get more chances, and I believe the team will score more goals if Martial's playing for us rather than Cavani. That's how I see football. Now then, switching that back to the England team, in Patrick Bamford, I see all of that as well. Maybe not as good as Martial, but I see a player who's a better player than Watkins from what I see, but who can also score goals. So I really don't grasp it. But anyway, we'll see who he's. Obviously, Bamford can't be in the squad. But talking about Luke Shaw, Henderson as well, still got a chance of playing in goal. Albania on Sunday for England. A lot better than San Marino, Albania, but still a game that England should be winning comfortably. So on Sunday, we might see a few clues as to who might come into the team for the Poland game. But it wouldn't surprise me if he makes a few changes for Sunday, but then one or two players who have played against San Marino get a rest on Sunday and then play against Poland. So you won't be able to tell from Sunday's team who's going to play against Poland. But I think you will see quite a few changes on Sunday, but really not until Wednesday night against Poland will you see what Gareth Southgate actually thinks might be his strongest team available from this squad that he's got at the minute. Obviously, there's a few lads missing for different reasons, injuries and what have you. But from this squad that he's got at the minute, I think you'll see the team on Wednesday night that Gareth Southgate considers to be his best team. Also in Group I last night, I said before the games yesterday, we could do with that game being a draw, and it was a draw. Hungary 3, Poland 3. Poland will... Pretty certain Poland will be England's nearest challengers. Hungary are decent as well, so it was good that they played each other straight away if you're looking for England to win that group. So England have already got a couple of points lead above Poland and Hungary, obviously by virtue of the fact that they've played each other. But that was a game where you would have been, if you're hoping for England to win this group, that was the game where you was hoping for Poland to drop points, and they have dropped points. Other games last night, Group F kicked off. Scotland drew 2-2 with Austria. They'll be disappointed to drop points at home. Scott McTominay played the full 90 minutes. I saw some of that game. I didn't see all of it. He looked like he was playing really well, Scott McTominay. He was playing in midfield. You might think that's obvious, but I was watching the games when they were qualifying for the Euros, and I watched the Nations League games, and they were utilising Scott McTominay as a third centre-back in those games. So whether he's now got other centre-backs fit and playing, I don't really know the reasoning. But Scott McTominay, because it wasn't just a one-off, he played a few games as a centre-back for Scotland, and he played 90 minutes in midfield yesterday and played well. But Scotland drew 2-2 with Austria. In Group C, Northern Ireland got beat 2-0 in Italy. I don't think they were really, obviously they're a decent side, Northern Ireland. I don't think they were really expected to get anything in Italy, I should say. And at least they can look at it that they've got a tough Italy away, will be the toughest game in the group for them. At least that game is out of the way. That's the only thing they can take from that, really. In the same group, Switzerland beat Bulgaria 3-1. So I think Switzerland will be a tough nut to crack for you know, for the Irish lads really to even finish above Switzerland to get into the playoffs, which is what they'll be aiming for. And in Group B also, I'll just mention this one. I've only been really looking at the home nations, but in Group B, Spain won't have expected to drop points at home to Greece. Spain drew with Greece 1-1, and in the same group, Sweden beat Georgia 1-0, and Zlatan, who's 40 this year, got credited with the assist for Sweden in a 1-0 win over Georgia. So well done, Zlatan. You're a credit to yourself at that age, 40 this year. Coming back and playing international football is absolutely brilliant. Well done, Zlatan. So that's that for today. I recorded another read through and through show yesterday. That should be going up sometime this evening, and I'll be back over the weekend previewing and reviewing the international, the World Cup qualifiers again. You know, there's a full schedule this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, of World Cup qualifiers. England's next game, as I say, is Albania on Sunday, so I will be watching that one. I didn't even watch the San Marino game, by the way. Games like that, I'm not, you know, I knew, without any doubt, I knew England were going to win 4 or 5. It wouldn't have surprised me if they'd have got 8 or 9, so I'm not really interested in games like that. I looked at it a little bit, but I will watch the Albania game and just see if it's a little bit more competitive. I hope you've enjoyed that show. If you've enjoyed that show, please tell all your friends. Please subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Keep stum.